Yo, so what's going on, guys? It is Pwn. We're kicking today off with your daily dose of pornography. What we're running through today is the P90. Now, this gun speaks for its own. I mean, you've seen it in many different game types, game modes, games, whatever, man. You've seen it in your sleep, in your dreams. You dream and fantasize about guns like this. You know why? Because it's amazing. It's got an amazing clip size. I mean, just compare it to like all the other guns in the game and the ammo capacity compared with the fire rate. This gun just seems to keep ticking and ticking, and there's just like no end to this gun. You're like, really? 9 guys, 1 clip? Does this ever run out of ammo? You sure this isn't an LMG? And that's what I love about this gun. Now, one thing that I've always really adored about this gun is just the magazine size, clip size. I don't know which one. Don't really care. Somebody's going to correct me. F you. So anyways, the one thing that I do love about this gun is it's always been one of the solid guns in any game that I've ever played or used it in. Now, the one thing that I do want to compare in this game is the differences that I've noticed across the platforms and the games and all the different types that I've played through this game. Now, this gun has always been solid, great at close range, decent at medium range. In some games, not necessarily just Call of Duty, but many games, this is one of the really common guns that is in numerous types of games, is this gun has been very debated across whether or not it has massive recoil or not. Take, for example, like the F2000 for, if you remember Modern Warfare 2, that fucker was rebellious, but take it into Battlefield, and it's the most overpowered gun, not necessarily overpowered, but the strongest and most used gun in the game. And it's got damn near no recoil. It's easily manageable. So, the one thing that I wanted to focus on, and this was one of the few guns I wanted to keep my eyes on when Modern Warfare 3 came out. Now, if I had to judge this gun, this is a great gun, not even near overpowered. It's a great gun, but you got to be the right person to use it. And I know what you guys are thinking about. Like, what do you mean the right person to do it? Like, I choose you. One ring to rule them all? No. It's just got to have this match to your playstyle as well as it's like a craving that you have to have for a gun like this. Now, in Modern Warfare 2, I love the gun. And the reason I love the gun is because there were 2 attachments that I love to use, and I could always interchange between them, no matter which one I'd want. Jesus Christ, did he just get outplayed. The one thing that I always loved about this gun is the variety of attachments that I like to use. Now, I did love the decent iron sights it had in Modern Warfare 2, and I love them so much that I could use the silencer on it and be very solid with it. Now, I think the silencer in this gun, really does kind of limit it a lot more. There's many guns in these games that I noticed that, it affects the range or damage or whatever people say about it. And I find that the silencers usually, help. They may sacrifice a little range, but in turn, it gives you the stealth advantage. And usually it doesn't matter too much. But this is the first game that I've noticed when you put a silencer on a gun, it actually does affect your actual gameplay, how many bullets it takes, so on and so forth. So this is the first Call of Duty that I've seen that it actually kind of revolves around what attachments you use on the gun. Before, I could just comfortably use anything. So if I was using a silenced, I'd be just as comfortable in the same distance or, damage ratio to take the same guy down in as many hits as necessary. And don't get mad at me for using a Kimbo. I picked them up. They were there. Don't get mad at me, guys. So, that's one thing that's always fluctuated between this gun is I love the gun. It's got a great rate of fire. Depending on the game, it's got a lot of recoil. But overall, it's a very reliable and one of the most dominant guns in history of gaming. So, with that being said, the one thing that I was really curious about is, A, would it have a lot more recoil than expected? B, would the attachments be as good? Because like I said, I was comfortable with the silencer, I was comfortable with the red dot sight. It was great with any sort of attachment. Just great, all around great. It would just come down to preference in the other one. Now, I find that it's not as reliable as a silencer in this game, and I generally find myself not leaning towards the red dot either. It seems like it's a lot harder to manage the recoil when it actually became a little bit more precise in Modern Warfare 2 with it. The red dot sight was my favorite attachment for the P90 in Modern Warfare 2. Now, both of the attachments that I enjoyed, I no longer do. I usually, bare naked rocket or maybe extended mags, whatever else there is out there for it. But the one thing that I do not rely on anymore is pretty much the ideal set behind it. I can't rely on the things that I'm comfortable with, the ones I'm used to in this game. So with that being said, I've had to maneuver and use different things. Now, the gun's not as great as I thought it was. It's not as good as I'd like it to be. This gun used to be amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, and that's one thing that happens is when you try to change a gun from something, especially if it's a previous title, and you nerf it or bring it down a little, it could piss a lot of people off. Now, take, for example, the UMP. I don't think it's as dominant as it used to be, but it's still a beast-ass gun. The P90 is still a perfect gun in the right hands. I just don't think it's as easy to use as it used to be. I mean, you got the spray effect, you still got decent manageable recoil, but I also have found that the gun is not as reliable with range. I used to be able to burst fire and maintain it quite easily, and it's quite rebellious now. It's going through its teenage years, and it's totally sneaking out the bedroom window to meet, Hershey down the street. I don't know what kids name nowadays. Shit changes. Used to be fucking like Bertha 20 years ago, so, you know, don't judge me. Hershey's the new fucking name of like 2020. So, top name in 2020, Hershey. Pwn just predicted that shit, so, you know, that's what it's coming down to, is the gun is great. I've always loved the gun, but I've also seen a great variety of how it's used and how it is, adjusted, because like I said, it is a dominant gun. It does make up and give it an advantage when it comes down to the rate of fire and the ammo it does have with it. Therefore, it as a default gun can easily clear out a room of 4 or 5 guys, where a normal gun, you would normally probably do 3, give or take 1, depending on your accuracy and, you know, the rate of fire on the gun. So, with that being said, I'm really, really kind of excited about this gun, because it's a little bit more manageable for most people, and it's not as easy to use for the general public. Like I said, I find that it's a great gun, but people are going to lean towards more guns such as the PP90 or the UMP45, the MP7, something that's got manageable recoil and is a little bit better with range. So if you learn to use the gun properly, it's great. It's going to give you that advantage of as being as good as those other guns, but it's also going to be something that you have to adjust to and practice with. So that's just the experiences that I've had with the gun. I could just be completely spitting out bullshit, and you guys think, what are you talking about? It's my favorite gun. And I see a lot of people using it, so I know a lot of people are good, but I'm just saying that it's not as good as some of the other guns. It's a great gun, and it's not the P90 that I was familiar with in the other Modern Warfare 2 game. So if you guys have noticed this, just let me know down below. Like I said, I just don't find that the attachments are as useful on this gun as they used to be. Like take for example the silencer. I mean, you can still get close range shots, but it just seems like it's not worth having, and there's no point in shooting anyone in medium range with this gun, because the silencer just really just renders it useless. So that's just my feelings on it. Let me know what you guys think about the P90. I know you guys wanted a random commentary, but you got my little thoughts on this gun. The reason I spoke about it is because I've always been one of my top 5 guns, and I had to put that out there and see if you guys have noticed it too. So thanks for watching, guys. Twitter down below. Peace out. Rate it up. Get it.